All right. Well, hello and welcome to all of you. And to those of you that are downloading, got an interesting story for you today. One of my, I guess it's the kind of stuff that mythology is made of. I can't quite remember, but I think it was in early 1994. And I'm really not sure where I was, but I think it was Cologne, in Germany, and I went through a kind of frenzy of writing. It was actually a bad sign because very few people were interested in a reading, and I had given a public lecture, and it was. If human design was going to be a success based on that lecture, I would have been a farmer a long time ago. And I was alone in this somebody's apartment who wasn't there, who was away somewhere, who knew somebody, and it was one of those stories. And I started to write this. There's no point calling it a book. I don't even think it was big enough. I think in the end it was probably 80 or 90 pages illustrated. And it was called The Pitchfork. And it was about the subject that I'm about to talk about, because I seem to have known a great deal about it then. It obviously, because it's all hindsight for me looking back now, and it seems like ages ago. And of course, there's a mystery attached to this, to the pitchfork. And perhaps in and of itself, it is a good story. But anyway, I've had a lot of computers. I was trying to figure out just before the class started actually how many. And I don't know. I think 10 or 11 since I've been in human design. As a matter of fact, the only 10 or 11 I've ever known, because human design brought me to computers. And many of the things that I created in the early 90s, particularly between 92 and 95, most of that, if it was stored at all, was stored on floppy disks. Amazing how quick and technology changes. And I still do in my storage space have God knows how many floppy disks filled with stuff, all kinds of stuff, the first books and things like that. And I've never been able to find this thing again. Somewhere in the mid-90s, where I went through, because the computer world was moving very rapidly, beginning to move very rapidly at that point. And I was constantly upgrading computers, and I lost a few along the way, and hard drives that were, could not be, at least with the technology of the time, nothing could be substituted. Is that there are many things that we've paid a lot of attention to in this. And when I say we, I mean in terms of, the way in which education has worked in human design, the way the story has been elaborated in human design. For example, there's a great deal that's known about the 4323. It's given